What's up?
Hey, man. Look, honey, I finally got some shades.
We got bracelets.
Ooh,
And this is
oh, man, absolutely. Right on time.
Yeah, it was just right there. It just fell.
It just, what a coincidence. How did that happen? All right.
All right. So, where's my notes?
Did your notes run
We've
away?
had you on Bleach Bangs once before.
I believe so, yes.
And you've got a lot of good stuff going on with Cold
I'm
Sweat.
a busy guy. Between Cold Sweat and the Fifth and everything else, busy
Yeah,
guy. Busy guy.
So let's talk the Fifth. That's the newest thing that you've got going on.
Yes.
So, Blind, Apple's new in rock playlist.
Yeah.
Way up there.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, you know, I mean, I got to give a tip of the hat to Ron Kill and RFK Media. You know, we were the first band signed to his label.
Yeah.
And no pressure there.
No kidding.
And they've really stood behind us and supported us while we were finishing up writing the record. And Chris McClernand of Cold Sweat, Saigon Kick produced it. Mm-hmm. And we got to record at Sean Down's recording studio in Charleston, South Carolina. So, you know, the record's going to be officially released on May the 2nd. And today I go to the RFK Media table, and there's the CD. So I got to actually see it for the first time today. And it looks amazing. It's got the insert and everything. It's something that I'm a fan at heart. And I still want to purchase a product, or I want our fans to purchase a product when they spend their hard-earned money. I want them to open it up, and it's not just like one sleeve. We want their pictures. We want the liner notes. We want the.
Who are we thanking?
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, it's like when I got to tour with Ronnie James Dio, and I got to be close with him. One thing that he taught me, and my father, who managed my first band, taught me as well: never forget the fans. The fans are the reason you're here. The fans are the one that buy your product.
Yeah.
And we want to give the fans their money's worth. So I'm super excited about this fifth record. I think it's the best material that I've ever personally been involved with.
Wow.
And lyrically and vocal performance-wise, I think it's the best stuff that I've done. And I really, really feel strongly about it. So it's getting, you know, released when they released the single, and for us to see it on that Apple chart, it was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I'm hoping that this is the first step for bigger things for the band, and also for RFK Media. So I'm excited about
That's amazing. Wonderful people to be backing you, man.
Oh, God,
Holy
man.
shit.
You know, I mean, and you got to think about it. You can't ask for a better label president. I mean, because he's still a performer.
Yep.
He's still writing music. He's still out there playing shows. He knows what we are going through as an artist.
Yeah.
He's not like some executive sitting in an office somewhere that has never slept in a van and has never ate hobo food at a convenience store. You know what I mean? It's like Ron has been in the trenches for years, and he is still out there putting out music and performing. So he is truly it's an artist's label. And when we were writing this thing, Ron was never like, I need product. When's it going to be finished? You guys have got to hurry up. Ron stepped back, and he let us, I hate to use this word, it sounds so cliche, he let it organically come together.
Yeah.
He let us finish the writing. He let Chris work on the production because he knew that the stakes were really high on this one, and he wanted us to be 100% happy with it. And it's good to be with a label where you don't feel like there's a corporate boot on your neck going, we need a single, you know, it's got to be out by this time, and when's it coming out, you know, you guys are taking too long. You know, it was nice to kind of have the freedom to write it from our heart, and if it wasn't good enough, it didn't make the cut. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I like to coin an old Mark Ferrari term. The record is all killer, no filler. So there's 12 songs on it, and it's one of those CDs or releases that people are going to be able to put in their car player and do a road trip and go, this is a good listen. It's a good listen, all the way beginning to end. So I'm very proud of it.
That's great. So, May 2nd, the new album,
Yep.
The Fifth.
Yes.
That's weird. May 2nd.
Yeah.
The 5th.
Yes, right.
And Blind is out now, right?
Blind is out now. Available for download on all streaming platforms.
And yeah, I saw that it was releasing on May 2nd, and then I thought I saw you with a live one, and I was like, I wonder if he's got those there.
Yeah, I was surprised. Trust me, today when I showed up, that was something that they kind of hid from me. They didn't let me know, but walking up to the table this morning and actually seeing it, and dude, it took 2 years for us to finish writing this, finish up the artwork, the photo shoot, the mixing, the mastering, just all of it.
Right.
To finally see it come to fruition, and you're sitting there holding it in your hand, and you open it up, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. It's like, it's the culmination of a lot of hard work that I'm very, very proud of.
Wow, that's great stuff. John, you look eager.
Hi, Roy. Good to see you
Hey, how's
again.
it going?
First of all, I'd like to say, tell Constance we wish her the best as well in life.
She's over here gossiping.
Nice. Perfect.
With Misty.
Somebody wanted to say hi to you. Say hi.
Constance, hi, how are you?
My much better half.
I want to touch base quickly because you have a Cold Sweat LP out there as well now.
Yes, yeah, we just got finished recently releasing Unburied Alive on vinyl, which is super cool. And there is a brand new song from Cold Sweat after almost 40 years. Yes, the old geezers can still write music. We're not just hanging on to the old stuff. It's called Loud and Forever, and I'm super excited about it because it kind of picks up where we were going before we got dropped by MCA. We were already planning on going on a little bit more of a Tesla-ish, a little bit more of a harder edge kind of hard rock sound. So this new song, Loud and Forever, kind of picks up where we would have left off with Breakout. So it feels good to put something new out, and it's cool, once again, going back to what I've always said, I'm a fan, and to be able to put something out on vinyl is just so cool. And I got the chance to hear it before I flew out to Nashville, and it sounds so good. I mean, it's just, there's something about vinyl. There's just something about the audio quality of it, and I think that we lost track of that when digital became the norm. First it was the CDs, and then it was downloads. And yeah, it sounds great, but there's just something about putting that needle onto that vinyl and that sound that the vinyl kind of makes.
Sliding it out of that cardboard, and that smell comes out.
The smell comes out. It's very, I mean, it's hitting all of your senses, and there's just something really cool about that sound when the needle hits the vinyl, that, and then the music hits in. Oh man, it's really cool, very cool.
Right on. So we've got to talk about the Kiss Cruise since John is on here.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's supposed to be this one.
Yeah, now we're talking. Don't get me started on wrestling now.
So how did this come about, and what is the most, the craziest thing that happened while being on the Kiss Cruise?
The entire thing was quite surreal because I was literally just scrolling through Facebook, and an ad popped up and was
And Gene wanted you to pay how much?
right. An ad popped up and it said, "Does your band want to play on the Kiss Cruise?" And I'm like, "Well, hell yeah!" So I entered a contest, and it was a very simple one. All we had to do was upload our video, and submit it. And we had just got finished releasing Shake Little Sister off of our previous EP. And if you have not seen the Shake Little Sister video, it's everything a Kiss fan would love. I mean, it's a rock band in a bar. We're doing shots. There's a stripper dancing on stage. There's groupies grabbing our bass player and taking him into the bathroom. You know what I mean? I mean, it was like literally everything that a Kiss fan or a rock fan would look for in a music video. And we submitted it, and we made it to the next round. You know, it goes by rounds, and people are voting for it. And I'll never forget when I got the email that said that we won and that we were going to be on the ship. And I remember messaging the guys on Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, "Guys, question mark?" And they're like, "What?" question mark. I said, "We won." And just couldn't believe it. You know, we just could not believe it. But the biggest thing that means the most to me and us is we were voted on by the fans.
Yeah.
It was the fans, the people that were going to be on that boat. It was the fans of Kiss. It was the people that put us there. It wasn't a hierarchy. It wasn't because I knew somebody or somebody knew this or somebody knew that. It was the fans that put us there. And for me, that speaks volumes. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
And if you can get the fans, especially Kiss fans, because they're loyal as hell, man, and fanatical.
I want you up there with them.
Right. So if you like getting a tip of the hat from Kiss fans, and if you win them over the way that we won them over, you really feel like you've accomplished something. And it was it was an amazing experience.
Wow.
It was just a great experience, man. It really was.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So M3, you've been on M3 as well. Tell me about M3.
Well, as a kid from North Carolina and as an East Coast kid, M3 was always one of those big festivals that, wow.
Never. I'll get on the side.
If I ever get to just go to it, or one day maybe, I hope. So for us to get invited to play M3 is like almost like hallowed grounds. You know what I mean? You're getting to play this festival that's probably the biggest festival of that genre ever. And it's been going on for years. And to be able to get to play that, and you're playing with all these bands that are like, I mean, they're
yeah.
You got the albums and
it's all these guys that I've grew up being a fan and listening to their music and emulating in a certain extent, and wanting to be like them, and to be able to play shows with them and to play M3 was incredible. And what I love about Cold Sweat is we have no delusions of grandeur. We know that we came in at the tail end of the whole 80s hair metal thing.
Right.
We came in at the end when grunge was taking over, and we didn't reach the pinnacle of success that we could have and should have reached. So there were a lot of people on the M3 page on Facebook was like, "Who's Cold Sweat? Who are these guys? Who are these guys?" But once we were finished, they were like, "Oh."
That's what a festival is for, right there.
Exactly. So it's like, we won over thousands and thousands of people that never knew who the hell we were. And they were all like, "Who is that singer?" You know what I mean? And isn't that Mark Ferrari, the guy that was in Wayne's World? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really cool to win people over. And win people over in an honest way with your performance and with your songs. and it was a really cool experience. I hope that we get to play it again. We won't do it this year. They normally skip a year,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that next year, we'll be invited back. I really hope so.
That's amazing. I'm pretty sure you made a footprint out there.
Yeah,
so.
baby, we did. I stomped a mud hole.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure,
I
gentlemen.
appreciate you, and you've always been one of our favorites. So
Well, I
you're near and
appreciate you
dear to
guys,
us.
and like I always like to tell you guys, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, you guys doing these podcasts, you guys are keeping the genre alive, you're keeping the music alive. You guys know that regular radio stations treat rock bands like the redheaded stepchild,
Yep.
and it's great to have people like you. You get to take a passion that you have and share it with people, and you reach a lot of people, and you guys are the ones that are flying that rock and roll flag when the labels are just like they don't care. So hats off to you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you very much. From the bottom of my heart, from the Fifth and Cold Sweat, man, you guys, we appreciate the support, and we appreciate what you guys do to help keep this thing
May
going.
2nd.
May 2nd.
Can we pre-order?
Yes, you can. You
All
can
right.
pre-order it at rfkmedia.com.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Roy.
My pleasure, brother. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate you so much.
You bet.
Got me some shades, baby.
Got some.
Got me some swag. Here, I'm doing one of these.
stage.
I don't even have any of those.
I think we all do, but it's because we when we went down to Texas, I stole some. Right.
I'll get it.
Just let me know.
I knew you were going to draw a blank.
Uh-huh.
Well, the stage that, because the guy that does it, and we can't think of what his name is, but maybe the 80s stage rep.
Yeah.
What's
that?
They're wrapping up over here. Well, I mean, she was telling me about the raccoon story.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there, we do have another guest coming up in just about 5 minutes. So we're going to have some lead-in time for that. While
A
we
little
wait
bit of
on
behind the
to show up.
scenes. They can see a couple things that happen whenever we shut off.
Right. This is just us hanging out at this point, but it wasn't a sense
Fixing my
in
camera.
killing a stream to start a new stream within 5 minutes.
Yeah, literally 5 minutes later, be like, "Hey, we're back." Nah, they're gonna have to just deal with the 5-minute interval.
I would like to say that I'm a little jealous of Randy and all the fun that he's having out there live and in person with everybody.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to go out, but life happens, and I'm. I wish I could have made it happen.
I feel like I'm partly there because of social media and the internet.
It definitely helps.
That
Yeah.
I've been able to kind of follow along with everything that's going on out there this weekend.
I am really happy that I'm probably doing more good sitting where I'm at right now, being able to kind of control everything and do a lot of the techie shit while Dad's able to just focus. It'd be a little harder if I was out there. But we'd make it work.
Randy's
Definitely.
giddy right now. It's cracking me up.
Doug.
He's loving it.
He's so giddy, and it's amazing.
All right, guys.
Oh yeah.
Doug Burgess.
Doug Burgess.
Doug Burgess.
Are we connected on Facebook or something? Can you are?
Yeah.
Making them connections.
Let them know.
Might as well go ahead and switch over to
Love it.
the next band that we got.
Thanks for the swag. I'll be wearing it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Copy.
Wow.
Paste.
Ryan, how are you?
Love
My
it.
name is Randy. I've got John and Ashton right over here, if you want to have a seat.
You want me to give you a warning?
What's
A
that?
time warning?
Yes, please.
So, next two.
Okay.
I'll flash You're actually in this one.
So she takes photos for the Rocklahoma book, and there you are. That's a photo that she had taken.
That one's mine. We got the whole spread in here.
Wow.
There's some more.
I almost wore that today.
He said, "I almost wore that."
It's hanging in my closet.
Awesome. So, Brian, a legend. So the best story I have about Kicks was me and my son and my wife. Everybody went to Rocklahoma. So, no, we didn't see you at Rocklahoma at that time. And he'd seen a lot of bands. And then you guys were playing with Whitesnake at a casino, I believe, down here. Or in Oklahoma City, I'm sorry. I'm from Oklahoma City. And he was like, Kicks. I go, right, you just wait. And you guys got on there, and the energy level was through the roof, and he's just like, how have I not known about these guys? I said, well, you do now. And he's like, holy shit. So you made a fan in Oklahoma City after seeing hundreds of bands at Rocklahoma, and then he came to see you with Whitesnake, and he's like, Kicks. That's my new band. Absolutely amazing. Blew him away. So, all right. Hey, John, you got anything?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. How has things changed for you since Kicks did their farewell? Is it?
How has things changed for you since Kicks has done their farewell?
Slowed down a lot. Yeah, I'm still playing with Rhino Bucket, but we don't play that often. At first, I was bummed that it was over, but now that I don't know, I sort of got used to. I'm getting used to taking it easy, and I'm waiting for the next thing to come along.
It's kind of a whole different world. You have to think about things a little bit different. And just like,
yeah, I know, but I've been doing this so long.
Yeah.
Even if it ended today,
you haven't taken up gardening or anything yet, have you?
close. I walk out in my yard every morning with the corn, or fill this bucket full of corn.
Dude, I do the same.
Feed the stray cats.
Yep. I found myself with bird feeders everywhere.
Yeah, that's nice.
And my wife is like, what are you doing? And I'll just be staring out the windows. 2 cardinals.
Yeah, but the fact that,
And now you have one with a camera on it.
I had bird seed to the deer pool.
Oh.
So that all the birds come. And then that attracts the stray cats because they come to
Right.
bounce on the birds.
They come to bounce on the birds.
And every once in a while I find a pile of feathers by the bucket.
You're like, am I helping or hurting? I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh. But we have seen you at Rocklahoma as well, and I knew exactly what my son was getting ready to see. And the energy, you guys just bring so much energy, and it's just amazing. And my high school playlist was all Kicks. I love Kicks. So,
well, I think that energy, the higher energy, was like our thing. And that's another reason. Like Steve, our singer, was having trouble in the end. He had neuropathy in his feet, and he was starting to have vocal problems. And just couldn't keep up that same energy
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to just become one of those old guy bands.
Well, and I appreciate that. I mean, it's knowing when to say, are we giving the fans the best
Right.
performance, or are we gonna? I'm not gonna throw out other bands that are still doing it right now that probably should not. But you guys were still on top of your game.
Yeah, that's why
And
it was a good time.
it was perfect. And I'm not going to see any of these crazy YouTube videos of Kicks, underperforming. It's not going to happen. So, and I appreciate that as a fan, being able to do that, because, I mean, we all get older and you kind of lose a little step.
Yeah.
But, what do you fill your day with now? Still playing? I mean, do you have a routine that you go through?
Well, yeah, I got like a music room down in my basement.
Of course you do.
Guitars and amps. And, I still go down there and I play. But like, a typical day for me is I get up and go to the deer park, fill the deer bucket, and and then I do a workout and go for a walk, and then I cook a meal. So, just, yeah.
You deserve that life. You really do, man. You really do. And that's good to hear.
Randy, I want to check with him and see about any upcoming Rhino Bucket news or shows.
Any upcoming Rhino Bucket news or shows?
Well, we just did the Monsters of Rock cruise, and we also recently started working with this new agent, but so far he hasn't come. So our next
It's
gig,
fixing to be an old agent.
we were supposed to have something mid-July, and that fell through. So now our next gig is until September.
Okay.
But we're hoping there's another agent that we've been talking to on the side, so maybe he'll come with something. We don't want to be sitting around all summer.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the past, because of Kicks, Kicks was so busy. Like I had to sort of put the Rhino Bucket on the back burner, and like during the down months in like December, January and February, Rhino Bucket would go over to Europe and have a tour, and then I come back and jump back into Kicks.
Yeah.
So now that Kicks is around, Rhino Bucket, there's a lot more time for that.
Right.
And, I'm in Nashville. There's musicians on every corner.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
to get something going.
Wow, they sure got loud there. It's not good for a podcast convention. So are you living in Nashville?
Yeah.
Okay. And what brought you to Nashville?
Well, mostly the home prices. Because I was in California before that. I was out there for 26 years. And it was when my relationship with my ex-girlfriend ended. She owned a house.
Yeah.
And I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, what am I going to do now?
Sure as hell can't buy nothing here.
Yeah. And I started looking around, and it was like the house that I really wanted, I couldn't afford, and the house I could afford, I didn't want. So I knew some people here in Nashville, and they told me, they said I should go and check it out. So I did. I took a week, came here, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, the prices were so much lower. Like at my house that I ended up buying for like $300,000 or something. In LA would have been over $1 million.
Oh yeah, it's insane. That's crazy. And there's land. I mean, you obviously like the wildlife and that type of thing. absolutely
And
great.
I'm like 12 miles out to the north of Nashville, and it feels like I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You won't find that in California.
I know, and I kept going further and further out of town, looking at houses, but then you end up in like Riverside, and it's like,
Yeah. And then you get so far out that you don't even have internet service out in California. It's but yeah, Nashville seems. I mean, this is my first time in Nashville. Yeah, and it's just absolutely beautiful. We kept comparing it to kind of like France in the end. It kind of, the trees and just the natural beauty up here is just absolutely wonderful. So, and with the housing prices and not to mention all the musicians that are around here.
that was the thing that not only could I afford a house here, the music scene was really happening, and it seemed to just dried up in LA.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like there's so many musicians up here, rock musicians, that I had no idea. You think Nashville, you think all country, but that's not it anymore. And everybody is transplanted to Nashville, and I absolutely love how diverse this city is. And you can go and see anything you want at any given time, and it's absolutely amazing. And the musicians that are around here, the studios. There's lots of studios up here. I mean, just
I know. I keep discovering, like every time I use my Waze app to get around, and it'll take me some obscure route, and I'll go down the street and I'll start looking around, and like studios, and publishing companies, and there's just everywhere.
This is definitely the place to be. So, especially, I mean, if you're still into the music, or if you're just trying to retire, it's a great place to be. I think you made a very good decision.
Also, the last 2 years I've checked out the Nashville Guitar Show, and you go there, and it's just like you see, like everywhere you look, you see somebody like Vince Gill and Brad Paisley, like just walking around.
That's awesome. And Gibson has their shops down here, and that type. That's just, this is the place to be. So I envy you. I really do. Oh my goodness. John, do you have anything else for Brian?
Yeah, I put a question into the private chat so you could read it to him, because I know we're having a hard time hearing.
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, it's so loud.
I was just saying my hearing's still good. Somebody asked me about that.
After all the years of playing and touring, what band did you have the most fun with on tour?
Well, our first real tour was with Rat, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Those guys were really cool. But out of all the bands we've opened for, there's maybe only 2 bands that everybody else is like amazing how good you are.
Yeah.
But I think our biggest thrill was opening for Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Like we opened a few times for them, and we opened for ZZ Top back in the early 80s.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I bet you were getting a lot of new fans from that. It's just like, who is this? Kicks?
Well, not so much from ZZ Top. I remember we played this. It was the Allentown Fair, and Steve had lost his voice or something, but we were up there struggling, trying to. We only had a small space. Like we had to sit up in front of CC Top.
Oh yeah.
And we looked down, and they weren't Kings fans. They were a bunch of guys, dudes with beards, and they hated us. But we just powered through. There was only a couple times where their audience didn't accept us.
That's awesome.
And a few times, one time on Grad Tour, I remember we came out, it was like, I think it was Poughkeepsie or something, and the crowd was giving us a hard time, and then Steve Pearson comes out from Cold Blood and sings to the Steve, and then the crowd turned around.
Like, okay, all right, I guess they're cool. All right. Looks like we just got the 2-minute warning. So thank you so much, Brian.
I apologize for not being here.
Oh no, that's okay. It's our setup that is. We usually don't do a mobile thing at all. We usually have our at-home things going on. So this is kind of thrown together real quick, but I learned some lessons on what to do and what not to do. So, but I appreciate you, and you are forever in my playlist, man. Forever.
Yeah, I know it's a shame. Like we felt like we never quite broke through.
Oh, I felt like you did, for sure.
We always, well, my fuse kind of broke.
Yeah.
We always wanted to be like AC/DC.
Yeah.
And we just never did. And like you said, your son wondering why he never saw us or heard of us.
That's true.
A lot of that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They just never saw us, so they didn't know what we found.
Yeah. Well, once they did, by gosh, they knew.
Yeah, actually, the M3s and the cruises opened it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Brian, and you're absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Rush to the front of the stage. You can sit here and just run off. Yep, I do that. That works for me.